Hello everyone, this is Rolando with Information Starts Here, and we are again looking in different communities for resources and information that we can share. I currently have a property that I'm putting on the market and in the city of Highland, and oftentimes I get questions in regards to different resources or different connections that may help families that are moving into the area that could be of a resource and a help. So I've reached out to the Highlanders Boxing Club, and we have with us today special guest Tony Cifuentes, and he's actually going to give us a little bit of a history about the Highlanders Boxing Club and how that came to be.
Well, thank you for having me here today. It's an honor to be here. Just to start off, how this came about was, I used to get in a lot of problems and troubles as a young man. Of course, the west side of Highland, all of Highland, that's my neighborhood. That's pretty much where I grew up at when we moved out here from Los Angeles. And, just like any other typical neighborhood, it has its goods and its bads. But for me, I grew up in a very violent neighborhood. My family was maybe 3 generations up to no good, I think it happens, and so it was just a cycle that was revolving. But coming from that background, all is just hate, violence in the neighborhood. So you become a product of your environment, and so one thing led to another. I got a lot of problems. Of course, I don't like to talk about those things, but we're going to focus more on the good things that are happening. But,
of course.
So after I decided to, change my life, I know that God spoke to me in very clear words that He wanted to do something with my talent, which was, of course, fighting, because I've always been good at that. Those were one of the areas that I was really good at, and so I chose to use that as the focal point of what we're doing now. So, what happened was in the same neighborhood where I was raised at, in the same neighborhood that I did bad things, I was actually jogging, and I felt that something that was calling me. Like, as always, as a young man, I had a lot of leadership skills and people followed me to do bad things.
Right.
But now it was a different type of following. It was to do good things and to actually, change lives and do better things in the neighborhood. And I didn't know that I was going to open up a gym, but I knew that fighting and actually in that area, it was something to do with that. So as I was jogging, I said, if this is something you want me to do, I'll use my talent, which is fighting and being aggressive and violent, but to use it to a better cause. And sure enough, later on at 26 years old, we opened up the boxing gym. And now that place is it's a landmine. It's a place where kids can go, especially at-risk youth. It's a place where people can go and be a safe haven for kids. Not only for kids, for adults, but we cater mostly to at-risk youth, because that's our priority, that's our mission. And it just went from being a boxing gym to fighting to now gang intervention, prevention, giving kids high school diplomas, giving them jobs, doing community service, not just once a year, but 3 times a month to twice a month. We have community events. It became much more than that. It became very spiritual, very community orientated, and now just the people in Highland are just they're just amazed at how a small place like that has so much heart and is doing so much in that community in so many ways.
Yeah, you're changing lives, really, because and not just only for physical, but also for mental, because I know right now there is a challenge in the community with youth. Yeah. It was kind of scary to look at some numbers. I don't know if they were dated numbers or not, but the information that I came across just reading about is that our youth right now, 40% of them between the ages of 16 or 19 are considered obese.
Wow.
And then 26% ages 2 to 5 are considered overweight. Yeah. But what's even more scary than that is that there's 15% of that is considered obese. Now, I know the numbers may vary, because a lot of times you go to the doctor's office and you get your checkup and they say, oh, you're obese. But
yeah.
but based upon
Yeah.
some of the numbers, but even then, just being a youth now, there's so much inactivity
Yeah.
in their lives.
Yeah, most
They're, a
definitely.
lot of times they're just sitting down, looking at videos, or they're playing
Yeah.
their games for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
But a lot of times the reality of playing a game and learning the skills is not the same as in real life.
Yeah.
Because in a game you can just hit the button and hit reset and start all over again.
Yeah.
So whatever consequences and decisions you're making on the video game has a different effect in real life. And I know boxing, from my understanding, has a different effect for our youth, because when you miss a punch or you miss something, there's a consequence to that,
Yeah,
right?
you can't take it back. Like you said, there's consequences for everything that you do.
Right?
You know, in life, it's a revolving door. Like you said, you can't take back what you said or what you do wrong. You just have to move forward and make it right. And those are some of the things that I'm glad you brought up about obesity. Because when I was going to school, you know, you would hear it all the time. It's all about hard work ethic. They would have, you know, shop. They would have home ec.
Right.
They would have more physical activities. Now I'm seeing that they're actually, you know, omitting that. You know, it's more just on education. But my thing is, it should be, you know, like especially in schools in your neighborhood, it's all about hard work ethic and having those tools and those resources. You know, let's just say for whatever reason you don't want to go to college, you don't want to do academics. But what about maybe teaching you to be a business owner or an entrepreneur, or something that you love to do, or be an actor or a musician? You know, whatever you want to excel in, that's something we need to start having more programs and more programs out there, just like the gym. You know, if that's something that you want to do, you want to become a professional fighter, great, you can learn that here. Well, I don't want to do that, but guess what? At the gym, you're going to learn about hard work ethic.
Right.
And in anything in life that you do, you're going to need work ethic. It comes to a point, especially at a professional level, when you've been having big fights, when you're out there, especially on TV, whatever you do, everybody has the same talent. You get to that point where everybody has the same talent, the same vision, but the only thing that's going to separate you at a professional level
Right.
is your work ethic.
Exactly.
And that's something that we're not seeing now with the kids. They're exactly what you said. They're in their computer. They're playing games. Let's start over. Let's delete. Let me tell you something. In life, you can't start over and you can't delete.
That's right.
You know.
That's right.
So yeah.
And I know just in our conversation before, we talked about some of the effects of the students that are, or the youth that are participating in the boxing club. I know this month was recognized as Bullying Month.
Yeah.
So what can you give us and let our viewers know some of the successes of overcoming this kind of issue with some kids on bullying?
I mean, we have a wide variety of kids there. You know, everyone's different. Some of them come in with low self-esteem. Some of them have anger issues. Some of them even have, they're just looking for an outlet. They want to be loved. They want to go somewhere that people appreciate them, telling them, hey, you're doing a great job. Because you don't know what's going on.
Everybody wants attention.
Yeah. You don't know what's going on at home. You don't know what's going on in their everyday life. And you know very well, as being young or a teenager, you know how that is. Sometimes you just feel lost, and you want something to do. You want to just get out of that show. And boxing in itself, physical fitness and work ethic, especially boxing, that's something that caters to. So a lot of people think, oh, this is a contact sport, it's a violent sport. Yes, it is a violent sport, but we're not teaching the kids to be violent.
Right.
We're not promoting violence. And you know, when the kids come in there, some of them have anger issues. Guess what? They harness that anger in a different way. So they can use that towards boxing in the ring.
Self-control.
Self-control.
Yeah.
You know, they can use that towards a boxing. Another kid that has is very timid and shy. Guess what? You go to the gym, you develop skills, or you develop the work ethic and the camaraderie, and guess what? You start having friends. You start being more talkative. You put yourself out there.
Right.
And that's what it's all about. It's about team building and getting everyone together and congregating. And that helps with bullying, you know?
Yeah, one of the things that I was, and I'm very impressed by it, is because whenever I stop by your club and they announce visitor coming up, every single one, we're talking from 5-year-old, 4-year-old that's in there, that's in that group, will come up and give you a fist bump. They'll come up to you, they're not, you know, and they show the respect of someone in the area, and so that it builds that confidence, because you know a lot of times kids are, you know, they're shy, and they, you know, but this it gives that self-esteem of, you know what, I'm a person too, I count.
And I think that's very important. Like I said, we're much more than just boxing. You know, it started as boxing, but it became much more bigger than that. You know, and people have to understand that place is a safe haven for kids. It creates jobs. It creates wellness, health. It's intervention and prevention.
Right.
You know, and those things are very important. You know, I'm not saying boxing is not important. It is important.
Right.
Being healthy, it's important, but there has to be more than that. There has to be components to that. You know, just like, you know, us coming together and working and collaborating, that's just something that even becomes more efficient, more just better for everyone.
Right.
And you know, the big point on, like you said, you know, bullying, not to pivot back on that, but, you know, everybody that's either went to that gym or has stopped by, like you said, the level of respect, that's something that I'm seeing that's being lost with the generation now.
Right.
They don't know how to open doors. They don't know how to say excuse me. They don't know how to say good morning or hey, how you doing? You know, you know, their face is down. They don't look at you. And to me, it's like that's just common courtesy or just respect. And to me, it's like you have to pass that along.
Right.
If I don't cut you off in the street, you're not going to cut me off.
Right.
So it's common courtesy. Well, and that's what we're trying to teach.
And you got to instill that while they're young.
Exactly.
Because they'll carry that on. So I know we have you have a couple of events that are coming up.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about your is it an annual event that you're doing?
Yeah.
And your how
so the biggest
our viewers can, you know,
this is the biggest amateur boxing community show that we have.
Okay.
It's an annual event. It's for Saturday, November 16th, and like I said, it's not just a boxing show. So it's having everybody come out together. We're going to congregate, and all the donations or whatever we're raising, it's going back to the gym. And that's going to help out with creating jobs, giving high school diplomas, getting more equipment, and doing more gang intervention and prevention. So if you guys want to come out and support it, come on out, or just look us up on www.highlandersboxingclub.org, or you can follow us on IG, Facebook, or you could Google just Highlanders Boxing Club and it'll come out. But this is one of our biggest community events that we have. There's a lot of people that show up. There's people that come out from Texas, from even up north to actually compete and harness the skills. And also, you know, we'll have actually booths there that have to do with, you know what I mean, community activities and just all great things are going to happen.
So because you also will have the fire department there, or the police department?
Yeah. So there'll be a lot of public officials and people that support us, the police department, the fire department. There'll be people as yourself, you know, coming out and talking about, you know, how you guys do intervention through your housing.
Right.
So it'll be everybody. There'll be a lot of people there. It'll also be on Telemundo and NBC.
Oh, great.
You know, so I really encourage everybody to come out. So, yeah.
I might get my Spanish on.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, we're going to have an additional event, the following one on the 23rd?
The following one will be the 23rd, and that's basically called Big Build, and it has to do with intervention and prevention and, of course, housing. With you guys are going to be actually focusing on that and talking about, so it's an actual another clinic and recycling event and boxing demo. So everything that we do, it has to do with community engagement and basically intervention. You know, and you know, that's something, a component that you're bringing in with the housing. So that's even going to even do more for the community. It's education.
It's education.
Yeah.
That's what, it always goes back to how we can inform communities and the families in the communities to be more informed so they make better decisions. Like I said, I come across a lot of folks that, you know, they make certain decisions, but it's sometimes because of the lack of information, they make poor decisions. So we're helping families make better decisions. And again, for the resources that you are providing there at the Highlander Boxing Club, we really appreciate I know one other component that you also work with, and I know is it your sister that works?
Yeah. So my sister is the founder of the Urban Conservation.
Okay.
And what they do and what they're excellent as is doing job readiness.
Okay.
And also, you know what I mean, bringing jobs to the community.
Okay.
And not only that, she's the founder, and that right there, they do recycling, weed abatement. We have the biggest and strongest recycling program in the Inland Empire. So we are the urban conservation for the San Bernardino County and the Inland Empire. And not only that, but the last event that we have, it's going to be on December the 25th, which is our toy drive.
Okay.
And last year we raised about 5,000 toys. So every year we're trying to make more and raise more to give out the kids. We have they get there like from 4:30. We're there from 4:30 to 8, but there's already a line of maybe 200, 300 kids just waiting for a toy. So if anybody wants to help out and donate a toy, man, come out. You guys are also going to be involved with that. So it's going to be a lot of community partners getting involved and helping out with that, because this is not a one-man show.
No, never.
So it's hard,
I know it's a lot. It's a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
So again, we have those activities. We'll go ahead and post that on our information starts here. Also, we are just again looking and reaching out to the community to also bring you on as a guest, as a resource, as information that's going to help build our communities. A lot of times we come across things in life that we try to accomplish, and it's not about competing versus bringing the best out of other families or other people. So again, we're trying to help the community as well with the information and knowledge that we're sharing here on our podcast. And again, we invite anyone to come on. You're welcome to go to Information Starts Here. Go under contact, and I will bring you on as a guest. Again, bringing the information for our community. Yeah. So again, thank you, Tony, for stopping by.
Thank you.
Looking forward to seeing you guys on November 16th.
For sure.
And we'll see you soon. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. We'll put your Instagram as well on there.
No problem.
And also subscribe to our podcast channel. And again, thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.